The National Football League is once again focused on the Kansas City Chiefs as the team has announced news that feels more like a shockwave than it does an update. Fans were shocked, competitors were inquisitive, and analysts were desperately searching for explanations as a result of the announcement. This disclosure has prompted a great deal of speculation regarding whether or not the franchise is about to undergo a significant transformation or whether or not this revelation foretells the end of an era. It is challenging to understand the sudden uncertainty that has arisen, especially for a team that has dominated the league for the past few years. For a long time, the Chiefs have been associated with traits such as strength, innovation, and consistency. At the same time, this development forces everyone to reevaluate how secure that dominance truly is. Every dynasty eventually encounters times when its very foundation is put to the test, and the city of Kansas City is currently experiencing one of these moments. The revelation is more than just a detail in sports news. It is a legitimate disruption that has the potential to influence the direction that the team will take in the short term as well as in the long term. The Chiefs are currently at a crossroads, and the direction that they choose to take from here will determine their legacy. In order to grasp the significance of this announcement, it is necessary to investigate its origins. A complicated network of factors that must be taken into account serves as the foundation for every significant choice that is made within the Chiefs organization. Before anything is made public, all of the issues, including injuries, contract structures, roster balance, and long-term planning, are debated and resolved in the boardroom. The more profound anxieties that have been steadily accumulating in the background over time are likely the cause of this specific development. While some people attribute the situation to financial constraints, others claim that it is due to internal shifts in strategy. The Kansas City Chiefs have a long history of walking a fine line between securing victories in the short term and building success that can be sustained in the long term. Maintaining such a balance necessitates sacrifice, and the current circumstances appear to be indicative of the price one must pay in order to sustain excellence. This decision's origins can be traced to the fact that teams at the pinnacle of their performance can still experience times when stability is precarious. The National Football League is an extremely competitive environment, and it provides little room for error. Every adjustment has significant consequences. This discovery does not pertain solely to the present day. It is a representation of the ongoing conflict between the desire to succeed and the restrictions that are placed on success in professional football. The leaders who are responsible for determining the future of Kansas City are of paramount importance at this point in time. For their vision and courage, head coach Andy Reid and general manager Brett Veach have earned the respect of people throughout the league. Their collaboration has transformed challenges into victories, resulting in the creation of one of the most prosperous periods in the history of modern football. Nevertheless, the two of them are now subject to increased scrutiny as a result of this new revelation. There is more to being a leader in the National Football League than simply being in charge of the rosters. It requires foresight, resilience, and the ability to navigate storms with steadiness. Reid's reputation for innovation has been a stabilizing factor for the team, while Veach's expertise in personnel decisions has made it possible to acquire talent that is a good fit for both the playbook and the budget. All the same, even the most resilient leaders need to make adjustments when they are faced with challenges that they did not anticipate. This moment serves as a reminder that leadership is put to the greatest test when the circumstances are not what one would expect them to be. Whether Reid and Veach will be remembered fondly or their long-term vision will be called into question will depend on the decisions they make in the present. When it comes to leadership, it is not enough to simply point to past accomplishments. One must also be capable of meeting the demands of the present. It was inevitable that the news would stir up powerful feelings in the locker room of the chief of police. In addition to being athletes, players are also more than that. These are people who flourish in an environment where there is a sense of trust, unity, and confidence in the direction that the team is going. A discovery of this magnitude has the potential to alter dynamics in a single day. It is possible that veterans who bear the responsibility of establishing the overall attitude will now be called upon to provide support to their teammates in order to help them remain calm during this period of uncertainty. Players who are younger might see the circumstances as a chance to demonstrate their abilities by taking on responsibilities that used to be within their reach. The Chiefs' past successes have been founded on talent as much as they have been founded on chemistry. And now chemistry is confronted with a new examination. The way in which the players process this moment internally will have a direct impact on their performance on the field. When a team is faced with uncertainty, it is possible for it to fall apart. However, it is also possible for the team to become more powerful if it uses adversity as a driving force. When it comes to the Chiefs, it is arguable that the response within the locker room is of equal importance to the decision itself. This shocking revelation will either cause the upcoming season to derail or strengthen it, depending on whether or not they can maintain their unity. The passionate fan base that the Chief had accumulated was among the first to react to the announcement. These supporters, who have gained a reputation for producing one of the most terrifying and deafening atmospheres in football, are now in a position where they are struggling with feelings of uncertainty and worry. Arrowhead Stadium has been a symbol of steadfast devotion throughout its history. However, even the most loyal of individuals can have their convictions shaken when the threat of uncertainty looms large. The revelation is considered by many fans to be a betrayal of stability, whereas it is viewed by other fans as an essential measure for achieving security in the long run. The emotional bond that existed between the team and its community was strengthened as a result of the social media debate that ensued, which brought the issue to the forefront of public discussion. Supporters of Kansas City are not merely passive spectators. They are the most essential part of the franchise, and they play a significant role in forging the identity of the Kansas City Chiefs, not just within their own city, but throughout the whole country. The organization is required to strike a balance between its strategic decisions and the expectations of the individuals who live and breathe every game, and their reaction adds one additional layer of pressure. The team's devoted followers are currently in a state of nervous anticipation, hoping that the team will demonstrate that the shock is not the beginning of a decline, but rather a step in the direction of renewal. All of the Chiefs' competitors have been closely following this development, analyzing how it might change the balance of power in the American Football Conference, AFC. For a long time, teams such as the Buffalo Bills, the Cincinnati Bengals, and the Baltimore Ravens have been on the hunt for any vulnerabilities in Kansas City's defenses. This shocking revelation appears to present a window of opportunity, but that may not be the case. Competitors are already making adjustments to their strategies in anticipation of potential vulnerabilities that they can take advantage of. Nevertheless, the fact that the Chief has a history of transforming negative situations into opportunities for growth complicates the narrative. Those who oppose this must ask themselves whether or not this is actually a fracture or whether or not it is just another calculated move by a team that has a reputation for being ahead of the curve. Competition is not the only factor that contributes to the development of rivalries in football. Perception also plays a role. Confidence is bolstered throughout the conference by the simple belief that Kansas City could be susceptible to attack. That being said, the Chiefs have repeatedly demonstrated that those who doubt them are incorrect, thereby earning their reputation. The response that Kansas City chooses to take moving forward will determine whether or not this moment empowers their rivals or if it ends up backfiring on their confidence. The announcement was made and the media coverage immediately skyrocketed. While analysts provided divergent interpretations of what this really means for Kansas City, sports networks devoted entire segments to it. There were those who called it a crisis, implying that the Chiefs are embarking on a time of instability. Others viewed it as a bold and strategic move that would ensure success in the future. This division and commentary serves to emphasize the unpredictable nature of the circumstances. Headlines have the power to shape public perception, and the Chiefs are currently the subject of constant speculation. Media narratives serve a purpose that is more than just to provide information. They are able to have an impact on morale, inspire confidence in their rivals, and increase the amount of scrutiny that is placed on them. Kansas City, which has become accustomed to being in the spotlight over the course of its history, must now weather a storm of opinion that extends far beyond the football field. Each and every success will be analyzed for any potential hidden meanings, and any mistakes that are made will be magnified. For the Kansas City Chiefs, finding their way through the cacophony of distractions becomes as essential as their performance on game day. This revelation has now become a defining national storyline rather than simply being an organizational news item, thanks to the media storm that has ensued. The economic framework that is the foundation of every decision made in the National Football League remains hidden beneath the surface of each headline. Salary caps, contracts, and the precarious balance of resources are just a few of the challenges that the Chiefs, like every other franchise, must contend with. It is impossible to isolate this announcement from financial considerations. In Kansas City, investments in cornerstone players have been substantial, with a particular focus on securing top talent at the quarterback position. At the same time, there has been an effort to develop depth throughout the entire roster of players. There are sacrifices that must be made in other areas in order to honor such commitments, and the present revelation could be a sign that those sacrifices are beginning to materialize. The sense of urgency that comes with competition frequently comes into conflict with the need to be financially prudent, which leaves leadership with challenging decisions to make. The Chiefs' readiness to undertake daring actions is evidence that he understands that success is not solely concerned with the present moment. It also involves maintaining a dynasty that will carry on into the future. Touchdowns might be more exciting than the numbers that appear on spreadsheets. Nevertheless, they exert influence over the potential outcomes on the field in a subtle manner. This bombshell serves as a reminder to fans and analysts alike that football is both a sport and a business. In order to maintain its greatness, Kansas City must master both dimensions simultaneously. Now that the initial shock of the announcement is starting to fade, people are turning their attention to the future. The Chiefs have to demonstrate that this decision will not hinder their pursuit of championships. They must prove that it will instead bolster their long-term goals. The road that lies ahead is filled with challenges, competitors who are eager to capitalize, media narratives that are becoming more and more vocal, and fans who are watching with cautious optimism. However, there is also an opportunity for success that can be seized at this time. Despite the fact that change can be disruptive, it has the potential to spark resilience, which in turn can motivate players to overcome the feelings of uncertainty. Chief has a long and distinguished history of overcoming obstacles and transforming them into opportunities for success. The challenge that they face now is whether or not they will be able to transform this moment into renewed resolve. Each and every game that comes out in the future will become a component of the verdict, which will ultimately influence how people will remember the decision. The road that lies ahead is filled with uncertainty, but it is also filled with potential. Kansas City is currently at a point where the future is uncertain and success is not guaranteed, but must be earned through hard work and dedication. The way the team reacts to this shocking revelation will determine whether or not it will become a foundation for future victories or simply a setback. Every single dynasty experiences defining moments in its history, which shape the legacy that it will leave behind. For the Kansas City Chiefs, this announcement has brought about one of these moments. It is representative of more than just news about the organization. It is a crossroads that requires a clear vision, a unified purpose, and a strong moral fiber. Regardless of whether it is seen as the start of a period of decline or the start of a period of renewal, it is impossible to deny its significance. The Chiefs have established their reputation on the basis of their resilience, as they have refused to give in to adversity. In addition, this particular moment offers the most difficult assessment of that identity. The way dynasties react when the path forward is not clear is just as important to their legacy as the championships they have won. The decisions that are made at this moment will reverberate throughout the course of future seasons, and they will play a role in determining how history remembers this period of Kansas City football. The future is not predetermined, and the conclusion of the story has not yet been written. There is no question that this bombshell has put the Chiefs in a situation where they are compelled to begin a new and significant chapter of their story.